Hi, everyone, and welcome to an episode of Trident Talks. Today is a bit of a quick fire Trident Talks. I'm joined today by Mark Arena, who's actually our most popular guest on the show. Mark, welcome back.
Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the jumper.
You brought it just for the episode. I love it.
I did.
So today we're going to talk about the obvious at the moment in the industry, which is Log4j, Log4Shell, and what you're going to, I suppose, talk about is more about the history, provide some context around Apache Web Server vulnerabilities, where it kind of originated from, and the key kind of threat actors, shall we say, in that kind of space. So do you want to kind of start us off and jump straight into it, and give us some background, especially in the kind of towards the Far East?
Sure, yeah, and I don't want to kind of repeat a broken record. You know, everybody's probably gone, every vendor under the sun is talking about Log4j and has their take on it, and WebExes and blog posts. I mean, we're no exception. We have a release as well, a report on it as well. So yeah, I guess I think obviously this originated in China. There were clearly good people, good security professionals in China who were working it. Example being Alibaba had some members of their security team who were trying to help the maintainers of the Apache package sort it out and telling them that they had to fix it fast. But I think the key thing for this, I think, is if we look back like the last year or two, we've seen a vulnerabilities in Apache products coming out of the Chinese kind of research, threat actor community. Unfortunately, it looks like, the security researcher community there and the threat actors are a bit intertwined. Like I said, I say that unfortunately, but if you look at like the Apache struts vulnerabilities have popped up in the last year or two, they've originated in China. So I guess the lesson is this going to end with this? Probably not. Maybe there's other, web server, web application server, key packages tied in with using web servers, web applications that are probably going to be researched in depth from Chinese security researchers as well. And I think a year or two as well, there was some legislation. I can't remember the specifics of it, but some legislation that was enacted in China, which kind of forced legitimate Chinese security researchers to kind of collaborate or work closer with the state than they probably would do on their own in some cases. So that's kind of another piece of this as well.
You spoke just then about the not confusion, but the kind of gray area between the good guys and the bad guys in China. What do you mean?
I mean, I think there were, like I said, I think the legislation, because the first thing there used to be like the top exploit, security research community type events where you would drop like 0 days in browsers and things like that for big money, used to be run out of the US primarily. Now they're heavy events done in China. And I think the legislation is basically for security researchers to kind of focus and share that with the community or the government in China, unfortunately. So we know, like, if you just look at what's happening, we know security researchers and or threat actors in China are researching Apache Web Server, web application type, looking for vulnerabilities in those type of packages, those pieces of software. If you look at Apache struts, they got a Apache, Log4j. I think you can pretty well think that the packages around that web server, web app continue to be researched in depth from that.
What are you guys finding? Or I know obviously I've read through most of, admittedly, your report on Log4j. Are you guys still heavily involved? Still really, really busy? Still conducting the research? It's not going away, is it?
No, I think probably the most difficult one is identifying some of the third-party applications. Sure, the package itself has been updated and released, but all the underlying products that use it. I can think of VMware, for example, some of their products use it, and just getting all those, you got to wait for the vendors to patch it and release, given their release cycles. Probably maybe they're not used to it, how fast they need to move with attacks in the wild like this. So I think that's probably the biggest challenge. What's your exposure as an organization? What tools you have deployed and what are the mitigations? And maybe you can't patch them because there aren't releases yet that enable you to, but maybe, with a WAF or web application firewall, you can at least mitigate a big chunk. I mean, I know other researchers are finding all the time different bypasses for different web application firewalls. But I think that's a big focus of us at the moment. Those packages, what applications are using it that haven't been fixed yet.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are lots of people still in the discovery phase, right? Of what is exposed, especially third-party applications. We're speaking to a lot of people at the moment, and it has put undoubtedly a big kind of the brakes on recruitment, the brakes on people looking, because it's just too busy, right? Hiring managers and professionals themselves, they just got no other focus other than this at the moment. Probably at the worst time of year as well. We're seeing two types of people, and I'd love to hear get your take on this. One type of organization, shall we say, one is they are very in a fortunate position where they're well equipped for this kind of nature of vulnerability. So they can either do automatic scans and wherever it may be, right? They're the tools and products good to go for this type of vulnerability. Then you've got on the other side of the fence, which is very manual. And we're hearing lots of late nights, lots of 24-hour kind of just late nights, having to manually sort of trawl through code or just applications to see if they have or if they run that library. Are you seeing the same thing? Is it kind of very black and white almost?
I still think, even the large organizations with the large budgets and the large tooling, I think what's the exposure is the thing that's taking the time, because just everybody, the bigger organization, you run more things, more applications, more servers, more services. I think that's the focus. So still seeing very, very large organizations really busy with this, which, like you said, unfortunately, it's a bad time heading into Christmas.
Yeah. Are you just kind of look ahead now? Again, I want to keep this kind of quick fire because I appreciate it's also late at night and where you are.
No worries.
Yeah. What's it going to look like now going forward? We're in the new year. Let's say there are more patches being brought up for third-party applications and directly for Apache. Are the threat actors in China, let's just specifically in that region, going to just be focused on a different type of vulnerability now, or are they like what do you see going forward?
Well, I would just say on this specific vulnerability, we've seen multiple actors globally, whether it's Russian speaking, English, jumping on it. It's very easy to see how to do it. There's a lot of people researching how to bypass, like I said, web application firewalls and the like. But yeah, it's pretty widespread at the moment, and everybody's spun up, both from security teams as well as the bad guys. It's everybody, I think, is, at least from a security side, seems to be trying to patch your outside bit first, and then have all your internal applications, which privilege access, privileged users, say an employee within the organization might be able to access. I've seen ransomware actors targeting VMware instances. So once you're in organizations, they're trying to target the VMware instances to exploit them. But yeah, so that's kind of the main bits that we're seeing. And on our website, there's a report you can sign up.
We'll put the link in. We'll put the link in so you can go straight and you can just put in your details and download the report. Is it a free report, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. I appreciate you putting on your finest jumper for this quick.
It's from the "This is fine." If people hadn't figured it out, "This is fine." The meme where there's the dog and the place is firing. Yeah.
Terrible. How do you even? I don't know. Where do you even procure a jumper like that? Well, how do you even?
It's actually from the guy who made the meme. Wasn't pirated. I'm actually funding the guy who made the meme. So everybody took his stuff, used it online, probably us included, myself included. I know. So I'm glad to give him a bit of money for all his hard work.
Yeah. Okay. One jumper sold worldwide.
I know.
I reckon you probably have the strangest collection of jumpers I've ever seen. Yeah, absolutely. I never know what you're going to turn up in. But yeah, look, thanks. Appreciate you jumping on. Like I said, quick fire. Just wanted to kind of get some context behind. Do you think this is like either the magic bullet? Could this been foreseen? Could we have seen something like this coming? I appreciate not the particular vulnerability, but maybe companies could have been better prepared.
It's hard because I think unfortunately, this is a new normal. Apache Struts was similar. There's going to be vulnerabilities that come up with massive exposure. Do you have the visibility to identify the exposure in a quick manner? And then, patching is a consistent problem. How do you do patching that is fast enough against the threat actors exploiting things? Is it foreseen? I think it should be. Just maybe not the specifics of it, but definitely this is what's going to continue to happen. there's no change. This is it. There's going to be new vulnerabilities that come up. You need to identify exposure fast, deal with it fast. Unfortunately, that's just I would say new normal, but I think it's kind of has been for a while. It's the normal, unfortunately.
I think we're going to see some battle-hardened InfoSec pros in the new year. That's for sure. Cool. Well, I appreciate you joining. Thank you.
No worries. Have a happy holidays. Good time off.
You too. Thanks, Mark.